Hello everybody, and welcome to Blue Goose Garage. We have Courtney.
Hola.
She has been very happy for the last couple days because her car is on the road.
Woo.
Now before I show you what all I did to that car, which most of it is in videos before this, but before I show you and talk about what I did to that car, I know it's a very niche market. A lot of you don't care about neons, but I got a story. Oh no, a story. I can hear the view count going down already. In February of 2000, my parents bought this one pretty much brand new. I say pretty much brand new, I mean it was still a new model year, but the car was, it's confusing. That's a very early production car. It's like 2 years old by the time it was 2000. So we've owned that car since I was 11 years old. Actually, I was still 10 years old until August. So it's been in my car, in my life. That car's been in my life for 25 years. And because of that, we've always kind of liked neons, because regardless of what other people's opinions are of neons, that one's all the proof I need to say that they're dependable and really good cars, because 300,000 miles and really would have probably still been on the original engine if it hadn't have been for me being stupid when I was 17 years old. So we've owned that 2000, 2002, a 2001, the blue 2000 next to the rollback. There's other parts cars and stuff around here, but because of that car, we kind of keep buying them. They're kind of addictive. And now Courtney has her neon. We washed it the other day and it looks a little bit better. At least it ain't got mildew on it. Now it's running and driving fine. I wasn't originally gonna do this, but we'll go down the road in it. Now I'm gonna show you a few things, and I know that it's a very, like I said, niche market. There's very few people that'll be interested in this. But this is a 2002 Dodge Neon, which means it's the first year for a electronically controlled 4-speed overdrive automatic. It's a 1-year only car, usually. Now, there was other transmissions in junkyards and stuff that I could have found. I could have maybe had that transmission rebuilt that came out of this car. But I know enough to know that these transmissions were not dependable. The 4-speeds were kind of junk. Nobody really knows how to work on them. So I put in a 2000 3-speed. And it's shifting good now. It's been on the road for what? 3 weeks?
Yeah, about that.
3 weeks ago, when I first got it driving, the transmission was having shifting issues. So a week ago, I took the valve body out and took it to a transmission guy I'm friends with, and he cleaned the valve body, polished everything, put it back together, and he didn't really see anything wrong with the lockup converter. But there had to be something wrong with the lockup converter, because with the valve body, because after he cleaned it and put it back together, it wasn't locked in anymore. I guess I could have maybe avoided that by triggering the lockup solenoid a couple times. It might have fixed itself, but I didn't know that. So I took the valve body out and took it apart, had him take it apart, and he cleaned it, and I put it back together. Well, after that, it was upshifting and downshifting like it should. Well, upshifting like it should, but it still wasn't really downshifting. After you drove it for a while, it would downshift most of the time in the second gear, but it would rarely ever go into first gear. So I'm not going to go into details, but basically when you've got a transmission guy that's got like 50 years experience, it's all about knowing where to hit it with a hammer. Sometimes that actually fixes something. Even if it seemed hard on the transmission, it actually fixed it. So, you know, you don't really have to understand how it did it. It did it. It rattled some stuff loose. Now the governor works, and it downshifts and upshifts like it should. And if you were to throw it to the floor, it would probably even downshift to pass somebody. I've not tried that yet. I'm sure Courtney will eventually, because Courtney, like, you know, most women, not all of them, but most of them, and some teenagers, like to race things. And Courtney, would you say you like to go fast?
Oh yeah.
She likes to go fast.
I want to go fast.
She's like Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
I don't know if that makes me the Frenchman or not. I'm not really. Yeah, I don't know. But the transmission, as you just noticed, it didn't kill the car when I pulled in. And it's also downshifting in the first gear. So, it's running and driving good. It's shifting good. She bought the car for $600, which is a good deal when you have parts cars, which is what we have. I've changed a few things on it, mirrors and stuff, rear seat stuff, and made it a slightly better car. But she bought the car for $600, and you put what, $300 worth of parts on it?
Yeah, about that.
So $900, $950, less than $1,000. And she's got a car that runs and drives, has cold air, hot heat, lights work. In 2025, you really, you know, the days of the $100 car and driving them for 3 years is pretty much over. So now your goal really is to find something for about $1,000 that you can do that with. Sometimes that means you have to buy something that was on the edge. You go into the foundry and save it. So when we get back to the house, I will show you what I did. I'm trying to do this without editing the video. Does Courtney have anything to say?
Thank you for fixing my car.
You are very welcome.
And it goes boom with the new speakers in the back, but the front speakers don't know what their issue are, even though they were somewhat playing, but then they were unhooked, and then they were hooked, and then they played really well, and then they stopped playing really well. But we'll fix it.
We'll fix it. I'll put new speakers in the door so I have to.
Yes. But the car, you know, when people look at cars that are, heck, even 10 years old or older, they think that it's just a bucket of trash. But, I mean, for this being a 23-year-old car, it really does drive well. It's really smooth. And it turns well. You don't have to, like, slam on your brakes or anything. Like, it really is a good car, and I honestly think that for less than $1,000 I got a pretty good steal.
Luckily she didn't have to pay me.
I pay you in the
I mean, monetarily, she didn't have to pay me. I got paid. But, you know, this is a child's friendly channel. So, but she's got a car that she can drive, and everything works on it except, well, it's got the same miles on it now that it had 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But that means that in 10 years it'll still have 177,000. I am going to try to fix that. It's kind of hard to find information on the internet on how to do this particular swap. There's a lot of information about doing a 5-speed swap. So basically, that's what I kind of did, is I used what information I could get on a 5-speed swap to put a 3-speed in this car. You have to kind of do the same things. The only thing that I'm kind of having issues with, because it's a 2002 instead of a 2001, is 2002s use a special fast idle solenoid that's got 2 wires. That's the connector right here. And since this is a 3-speed, it has a passing cable, throttle valve cable. This cable here tells the transmission when to shift, basically. It's a passing cable. Depending on how hard that cable's pulling is when the transmission shifts and how much pressure the pump's making. So you have to make that work. So I took a 2000 throttle body and put it on a 2002, and everything else plugs up but that. So it idles a little bit high when it's hot, but it idles when it's cold. And the only time you really have any problem with it is, say, if you crank it and turn the air conditioner on, put it in drive, and go to turn the steering wheel at the same time, you might kill it. But as long as it's not idling when you do that, it's fine. So to get it to crank, you can't see nothing, but there's a wire down there that used to plug up to the transmission. And that shift selector in neutral and park grounds that wire. So in order to get it to start, my buddy Lone Wolf was up here, and he used to Dodge Master, even though he likes to call this a Mitsubishi. It's not, that's, you know, but it's a close cousin, but it's not a Mitsubishi. He figured out which wire I needed to ground. So right now, the car will crank in any gear, or going down the road. If it happened to die, you could hit the key. Or you could accidentally hit the key and take the flywheel out of it. But it'll crank at any time because that wire's jumped. It thinks it's in park. That don't really seem to matter with this one. The check engine light's on. It seems to rev up pretty good. I don't think that it's in limp mode. It could be, but I've not really ran it hard enough to see if it goes up against it. So basically, to do a 5-speed swap, you would have had to do the same thing. You would have had to jump that wire or change the computer to a 5-speed computer and hook the wire up to the clutch switch. On this one, I just grounded it. So it's working. Transmission shifting up and down. Other than a few small things, you can't tell I've been in here. Plus it's a 2000 Neon, so while I like these cars, they're not exactly desirable. So it works. At a later date, I might make a video trying to fix the speedometer, but that is for the one other person that might happen to do this, because it don't apply to anybody else. So New transmission, new head gasket, timing belt, water pump, radiator. It already had new spark plugs and wires. New battery. I bought that at a junkyard. It's new, but it was too old to sell as a new one. So 1 year warranty, $60. We're all about that low budget. Well, sometimes no budget. You have to have money in order to have a budget. So anything else you want to add to this? Trying to do this without cutting is really difficult, but we're going to send it.
Well, I mean, really, the only thing under the hood that really doesn't necessarily really need to be fixed, but fixed is the washer fluid reservoir.
Yeah,
But
washer bottle's busted.
yeah, but I mean, otherwise, most things are cosmetic, just like clearing the headlights and really giving it a nice paint job eventually. But I mean, that don't matter to me.
I knew a guy that used to paint cars. He said he wasn't going to do it anymore, but I guess for the right one, he might paint something else. Maybe he'll show this on video, painting the car. Should be a quick and dirty quickie. It might get a fender in the door just so I don't have to do body work.
Fair.
But the car's really pretty good. I mean, I know people up north and stuff, they've probably not seen a Neon that had a rocker in years, but that's what they look like. So, she almost bought a Neon once.
Yeah.
It did the same thing. In reality, it was doing the same thing that this transmission was doing. It was trying to pull out in third gear, and really all she might have had to do would be pull it back in first gear. But you have to know those things. It's like I was saying, you have to know where to hit it with a hammer. If you've never been around a Neon, you don't know about those little idiosyncrasies. That, hey, if it's a 3-speed and it quits shifting, just roll in a parking lot and throw it in park. Sometimes that works, but so
Yeah, well, that was like 20-year-old Courtney. This was, didn't know these things.
See, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, they were already having that problem. It's weird, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
But if she'd have owned one back then, she wouldn't have wanted one now because she would have had a bad experience with that one.
Just like I don't want to ever own a Ford ever again.
Never again.
Never.
Never own a Ford Edge. Ever.
Well, the Edge was actually pretty okay. It was the EcoSport.
EcoSport. Never own an EcoSport.
That's why they only made it for 1 year.
Well, that's what happens when you buy a first-year car or a 1-year only car. Kind of like this.
Hey!
See, Neons, they're actually good cars. Unless you get a 2002. That's an automatic. And then that becomes a parts car usually. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a completely different tone than I normally make these videos because I normally try to edit it down to get out some of the rambling. But we're going to find out how rambling actually does in the video, and I figure by putting this at the end of this video, only the people that actually watch the whole video will have anything to say about it, and maybe they can give me some hints. If you want me to continue to make videos like this one, where I actually try to talk and show something, like, most people do on a video, or if you want them to continue to be like they've been for 8 years, yeah. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Yes. Great success.
Great success. Aw.
Your hand.
And we'll see you again next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.